وكل ضلالة في النار يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. Brothers and sisters, pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that may Allah give us sincerity to speak the truth in the light of the Quran and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to understand them, to accept them in the hearts and to apply them in our life. Ameen thumma ameen. There are few things which I want to continue from the previous khutbah, which is with regards to the objectives of fasting. And these are very important points. If we don't have the objectives of our fasting, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not accept our fasting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not accept our salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not accept our taraweeh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not accept our Quran. Now, bottom line, salah, we are praying for Allah. Fasting, we are doing for Allah. Taraweeh, we are praying for Allah. And also, we read Quran for the sake of Allah. But these are all our own ibadah that we have to do for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you see the system that is practiced by the Muslims, or the way Prophet has told us to practice in the month of Ramadan with regards to getting up at the time of Fajr, just before Fajr for having short meal. Then from that time till the dawn, we are not allowed to touch or eat or drink any halal food. That is an objective not only for yourself, that you are doing it for the sake of Allah. This is an objective that you are living in the society where you have to see that there are some people who do not have the food in their life, in their houses. They are poor people. They may not have clean water to drink. They may not have enough food to nourish themselves. So your hunger and your thirst will remind you, will make you understand that how it is important as a Muslim that you should also consider the people's need, and especially the food and drink. Even if you see the punishment of cutting the hands of the person who steals, the scholars of fiqh, they said that even the ruler, the Muslim hakim, has no right to cut the hand of a person who is stealing and he is caught robbing things before knowing the reason. And if the reason is his poverty, then the hakim should be questioned first. Before punishing the thief, the government should be questioned first why this person has become thief. What was the reason for him to, steal the things or rob the things for making his living? That is objective. And this is the objective of our fasting. That we, when we are doing namaz, salah, siyam, everything what we are doing for the sake of Allah, but when we are, cheating people, when we are, betraying people when we sign the contracts, that man or that partner that you have signed the contract with, he is looking after himself. He may be having the responsibility of his parents to look after. He may be having the responsibility to look after his wife, his children, his family members who are in need. But because you have cheated him, now he is in a trouble where he has to do something here and there to cover that necessities. So your hunger and thirst will make you understand that deep, that anything that you are, by abstaining from halal food, you suffer from pain, you suffer from thirst, you suffer from hunger, then what about the person who doesn't have and doesn't have enough to make, cover up his necessities? So this is one of the examples I'm giving you over here. That the purpose behind abstaining the food and drink, this is the reason. That you have to think, you have to feel, you have to realize that by cheating others, that can lead a person who is not having enough to feed himself, he will do something haram, and you can be the reason for that. This is when somebody is doing something wrong in the society, and this is a wrong concept where Muslims are saying it is halal to cheat the people who are non-Muslims. There are some people, they have this concept that you can sell, you can sell the alcohol to the non-Muslims. Because they are non-Muslims, it is halal for them. You can, cheat them, lie them, you can take, steal their money because this is a, a non-Muslim person. Or you can even cheat the government because it's a non-Muslim country. And then you can, no, subhanallah. When you are cheating any authority, you have to remember you are not only cheating that authority, you are cheating that authority who is looking after so many people who are in need. And they will ultimately be suffering because of your cheating. And that prevents, what that prevents? The understanding of why you are, going through this thirst and hunger while you are fasting for that particular time. And every day, when we talk about dawn till sunset, that's a particular time. This also shows us, Islamically, the objective of that is, it shows us that there are people who might be in need for certain time, certain period. And if you don't look after them or you don't fulfill their needs at that particular time, then there is no point for you to, serve the people when they are not in need. And this is one of the examples of Hadith where Rasulullah has said that before the Qiyamah, the time will come where everybody will have enough money where they will not be accepting the zakat of other person. He will say, I have enough. He was in need yesterday, but today he has enough. So that particular period and that particular, the thirst and suffering in that particular period tells you that there are people who are in need and you have to look after them at that particular time. Once the time is gone, it's gone. So this is one concept of fasting and the objective of that. The second thing, you are not allowed to eat halal food, you are not allowed to drink halal drink, which gives you a clear concept that after the Ramadan, this halal is halal for you, and the things which are haram, you have to be more serious about that because now there is no restriction. And this is a training for you to understand that if for certain period you are restricted from halal, then how can you do haram without any concern? Which brings what? Haram when we speak, haram when we see, haram when we hear. These things are all haram in the month of Ramadan. And they are more haram after Ramadan because there is no restrictions. And this is the hikmah. Allah is training us in the whole month for 29 days. And scientifically, it has been proven now, but people, the science do not admit or they do not promote this because it is part of our religion. If a person is taught any good thing or bad thing, that remains in the person's attitude, in his behavior, minimum for 10 days. Minimum for 10 days. It could be more, but minimum, whatever you learn, whatever you train yourself, for one day, that remains with you, it keeps with you, it remains with you, or it reminds you for at least minimum for 10 days. So imagine the objective of 29 days and 30 days in Islam. You are restricted from all this and you are made to have a discipline. This shows that if you count 10 days for every day, it's nearly 300 days. So if you are trained for one day, then you are trained for another 10 days for the same way. And then if you are trained for 29 days or 30 days, you are trained for the whole year, almost all year. That means there is no point for you to fall into sin if you are really trained in the month of Ramadan for the sake of Allah, and that is the objective. If after the month of Ramadan, if you have gone back to your own same routine, cheating, lying, haram, and all those kind of things that you were normally doing, then this is the answer for you when the hadith comes. Hadith in Sunan ibn Majah, hadith in Tirmidhi, hadith in Musnad Imam Ahmad, where Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has said, with different words, this hadith has come into, like, there's 72 different wordings are there, but the concept and the theme is same. رُبَّ صَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ صِيَامِهِ إِلَّا الْجُوعُ وَالْعَطَشُ وَرُبَّ قَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ قِيَامِهِ إِلَّا التَّعَبُ وَالسَّهَرُ. These are the wordings in some of the, the ahadith. But these are the wordings. Ju', atash, sahar, wa ta'ab. Normally when we are fasting, we do feel hungry and we do feel thirsty. And Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has said that a man who will come on the Day of Judgment expecting Allah to give him the reward for his fasting, it will be said to him that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has not given you any credit of your fasting except that you have been suffering from thirst and hunger, no reward for you. وَرُبَّ قَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ قِيَامِهِ إِلَّا التَّعَبُ وَالسَّهَرُ. That's a person who is praying Taraweeh, Qiyamul Layl. It will be said to him that your Qiyamul Layl and your Taraweeh has got no credit for that. Allah will not give you any reward except that you have given pain to your ta'ab, pain to your legs and your body. And sahar is like, straining your eyes, you're not sleeping, you're feeling tired, you want to sleep, but you're not. You're praying Qiyamul Layl. You're awake in the night. So this is the reason this hadith is mentioning of Rasulullah, but the reason behind it is what I said. That in this particular month, we are, even the non-Muslims, they will laugh at us, saying, why you have to, have restrict yourself from the dawn and then sunset, and then you have to you don't do this, because some of the people who are fasting, in their fasting, they can eat some fruits, and while they are fasting. Some of them are fasting, they can drink milk. And these are very common if you live in the community where there are the other people with different religion and they practice. You will know that there are Hindus who are fasting, there are Christians who are fasting, the Jews who are fasting, but their fasting is different than our fasting. And the hikmah of our fasting is this, that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala wants us to be disciplined in these 29 days or 30 days, which will have an impact on us, multiplied by 10, which will keep us same throughout the year. Another question. Even the non-Muslims, they laugh at us when we say that إِذَا دَخَلَ شَهْرُ رَمَضَانَ سُفِّدَتِ الشَّيَاطِينَ. There's another hadith where أُغْلِقَتِ أَبْوَابُ النِّيرَانِ وَلَمْ يُفْتَحْ مِنْهَا بَابٌ وَفُتِحَتْ أَبْوَابُ الْجَنَّةِ وَلَمْ يُغْلَقْ مِنْهَا بَابٌ. That the doors of the Jannah are open, 8 doors, not a single is closed, and 7 doors of Jahannam are closed and not one is open. And سُفِّدَتِ الشَّيَاطِينَ, and in Sunan ibn Majah, مَرَضَتِ الْجِنِّ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala close or change the people, the jinn and shayateen, who are the source for, inviting people to do haram. And people, non-Muslims are laughing. This hadith doesn't go into our head. Because we see majority of the Muslims, they do more sin in the month of Ramadan. So who is chained now? If shaitan is chained, so who is doing all this thing? And the answer is very clear, because we don't know the objective of our fasting. The way 29 days and 30 days can have a good impact on you and keep you, mashallah, mu'min and muttaqi and salih throughout the year, that can also have an opposite impact on you in the month of Ramadan. When you are not practicing your religion for 11 months, how can you change yourself in the 29 days? What does that mean? Practical example. For an example, in the month of Ramadan, a boxer has to go for his fights. 29 fights he has to fight in the month of Ramadan. And he has got the training time 11 months. So his coach will train him for 11 months. Yes or no? Train. And then when the first fight starts, the coach will sit and relaxed, and the fighter is in the ring. He has to fight. Yes or no? The coach has got nothing to do. Same concept with shaitan. Shaitan is training his people for 11 months. He trains them in lying, he trains them in so many haram things, and when Ramadan comes, it doesn't make any difference to him if Allah chained him in the Guantanamo. If Allah chains the shaitan in a place where he cannot come back, it makes no difference, because he has trained his disciples for 11 months, which will be easy for them to do whatever they want to do in the month of Ramadan. So it doesn't change. So this is the objective we have to understand, my brothers and sisters. I have texted a saying of a man, in Urdu it was, and then I have translated it into English, and I said it to, texted and forwarded to the people on WhatsApp. And the brother was arguing with me. He's a nice brother with a good concept, not like insulting, but he said, Sheikh Sahab, this statement of yours, this translation of yours, it will discourage the people to come to the masjid, and it will turn them away. So the point was that he wants to say that I know a man who first came in the masjid in the month of Ramadan, and then since then he became a good example for us. He never, changed, and now he became a good example. So my point was that why the Muslims are seen only in the month of Ramadan in the masjid. Why they are so much in the Taraweeh? Why they are so much into, looking for the completion of the Quran in the month of Ramadan? Why they are, trying to be punctual in their first, for 5 daily prayers? And then just when the days are going, the Ramadan is going away, the numbers are also reducing until the end, the night of Eid. You rarely see those people who were really boosted with Iman and coming to the masjid. So that was my point, saying to the brother that I translated this poetry or this statement of a man just because to make the people understand that we don't worship month of Ramadan. Do we worship Ramadan? We worship Allah. And all those things that we do in the month of Ramadan, they are the same thing that we are doing in the month of other months as well. But in the month of Ramadan, we are restricted even with those things which are halal, just to see that how much serious we are in obedience to Allah. And that's the way it is meant for, this Ramadan is meant for that purpose. But if a person is, subhanallah, after Ramadan he goes back to his own same routine, so that means he didn't know the objective of fasting. And what do I mean by this, my brothers and sisters? Actually, the point was that we are slaves of Allah, servants of Allah in 12 months. And things that we have to do in the month of Ramadan, the same thing we have to do in other months. And the things which are haram in the month of Ramadan, they are haram otherwise as well. Certain things which are halal throughout the life, they are made haram for us in the month of Ramadan, is to make you understand that this is how you have to be disciplined when the situation comes and you cannot compromise with Allah's deen, and you have to be strict about that, because you are not worshipping month, you are not worshipping time, you are not worshipping period, you are not worshipping any system or culture, you are worshipping Allah. And if that objective is not gained after fasting, then this is the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam: رُبَّ صَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ صِيَامِهِ إِلَّا الْجُوعُ وَالْعَطَشُ وَرُبَّ قَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ قِيَامِهِ إِلَّا السَّهَرُ وَالتَّعَبُ. So this is that a person will fast, he won't get any reward except hunger and thirst, and he won't get any reward for his qiyamul layl except pain in the legs and straining the eyes. So this is the objective which I wanted to bring to you, and inshallah there are more guidelines inshallah in the next part of the khutbah. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Okay. Now, the objective of fasting, the first thing is that what is our intention to fast? If your intention is to achieve piety and taqwa, then you should know all the branches, all the angles of taqwa. If you don't know them, then you cannot achieve taqwa. This is first thing that you have to know, the first objective of your fasting. Second thing, what are the things that can become the barrier for you to achieve taqwa? Why? Because Quran says in Surah Al-Kahf, pay attention to this. If our intention, our objective is not meant for what we have to do, then there is no point for us to do anything. Quran says in Surah Al-Kahf, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell them, قُلْ هَلْ نُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا الَّذِينَ ظَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا. O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell the people, this is Quran, very clear. Now this is the question you have to ask yourself, why you have to fast. This is the answer for this. That, O people, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell the people who are losers, those losers who have strived all their life with this intention that whatever they are doing, they are doing something good. But look, according to them, Allah is saying, according to them, they were thinking they were doing good. And Allah is saying their efforts of the whole life, not one day or 1 month or 1 year. The whole life effort is rejected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أَخْسَرِينَ عَمَالًا. Their deeds, led them to the loss. This is what Allah is saying, that deeds led them to loss, never benefited them. It's because that it was not with the objective. They didn't have any objective for that. If you have the objective, then you have to see that what is the objective of that, and the objective of fasting is to achieve taqwa. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. And if you don't know how to achieve taqwa, and you don't know what could be the barriers to, achieve taqwa, then what's the objective of your fasting? So this is the first point. Second thing, when you are disciplined to get up at Fajr, and you are asked to have suhoor, so many people, they don't care for the sahri. They don't know what time the sahri should be and why this sahri is so important. There are so many ahadith, I don't want to go into that. One hadith says the difference between the fasting of the non-Muslims, referring to the Jews, and the Muslims fasting is aklatus suhoor. This is the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the biggest difference between the non-Muslims fasting and Muslims fasting is eating of the short meal before dawn. We have made this Sharia of our own. We don't have any proper objective of Sahri. The suhoor should be just before the adhan. And Hafiz ibn al-Qayyim rahmatullah alayh, in his book Tibb al-Nabawi, he has explained the best time for eating your suhoor is just before the adhan, because it gives you nourishment for your fajr prayer. It gives you nourishment for your halal earning that you're going to do till Zohar, and then you are still ready to pray your Zohar prayer on time. If you don't eat suhoor on time at the time of just before the adhan of fajr, then you will feel hungry. And when you are hungry, you will be angry. And if you are angry, you will mess up the whole world around you. And if you are, mashallah, 20 stones like myself, then everything that you touch is messed up. Then you will regret. Subhanallah, this is the hadith of Hafiz ibn Kathir, Imam ibn al-Qayyim has explained that why the hikmah has come. And you know the best time during the time of Rasulullah, adhan of Abdullah ibn Maktoum and adhan of Bilal was the duration of suhoor. That was the time where the people were told to eat sahri, to keep them, going on with their whole day fasting. Iftari, fitr, iftar. Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has said, a person when he is breaking the fast, it's an enjoyment time for him, and he will be happy when he will be meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when Allah will give him the reward. This is that important. And Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has said, imagine, these are the words of wisdom which gives us the objective of iftari. What is the point of iftari? If you don't know the objective, the iftari says that La yazalu ummati bi khairin ma ajjalul fitr. Hadith of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. What a great word. Hadith says that my ummah, my Muslim ummah will always be in a good condition if they are breaking their fast on time. How many of you will really pay attention to this? And especially our women. May Allah have mercy upon them. Say Ameen. We keep them busy in the kitchen for the whole month. They don't realize this hadith. We also don't realize this hadith. We are all, mashallah, the Arabs, beautiful food. Because I've lived 36 years in Dubai, I know what they serve, subhanallah. Our Pakistani families, Bengali families, Gujarati, I'm Gujarati, minimum you have 6-7 plates, dishes, every iftari. You lost the purpose. You lost the hikmah behind that. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam has said that the best iftari that you break on is drinking of water and dates in odd numbers. And ask Hafiz ibn al-Qayyim. Hafiz ibn al-Qayyim, the tabib of Muslim Ummah, the doctor of Muslim Ummah, physical and spiritual doctor, he says that the whole day when your body is empty, your stomach is empty, you get the side effect on your eyesight. And dates are natural source for you to recover the weakness of your eyesight. And that's the reason Islam has told you to break your fast with dates and water. And what do we say? ذهب الظمأ وابتلت العروق وثبت الأجر إن شاء الله. The thirst has gone when you drink water. وابتلت العروق, and your veins got nourished with water. And your reward is confirmed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And my brothers and sisters, we have wasted our time when we are, with samosas and pakodes and kebab and this and that, and this drink and that drink is gone. It's gone. What happens to you then when you are going for the Maghrib prayer and Isha prayer? This is what you do. You are disturbing yourself, you are disturbing the guy next to you. And this is totally waste of time because we don't have the hikmah. And Taraweeh. What is the concept of Taraweeh? is the best prayer and best time is, our imams will not do that. And you will also not be happy with the imam. It should be just before the Fajr time. That's the best time. وَهُمْ بِالْأَسْحَارِ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. That is the time where you should be praying your Taraweeh. Not at the beginning and continuing with the Maghrib Isha prayer. It could be first night, midnight, and the best is the last part of the night. And believe me, wallahi, this is a experienced, test by our scholars. There were scholars when they started praying tahajjud. Believe me, when they started praying tahajjud on particular time, wallahi, they left their life of gangsters to a life of a pious person. Because praying at that particular night trains you how to resist your anger, how to resist yourself when the situation is hot. And try, my brothers and sisters. Try one night and see how you will be the next night. First few days it will be hard, but later on it will tell you, subhanallah, that praying tahajjud that particular night, there's a wisdom behind that. And the Sahaba, and not only the Sahaba, all those great conquerors in our history, Muhammad Fatih, Salahuddin Ayyubi, and other great, warriors of Islam who fought for the truth. What were they doing? They were fighting in the daytime and praying tahajjud at the night time. Subhanallah. So my brothers and sisters, these are the objectives that you have to think. It's not like rushing for the masjid, it's not rushing for the Qiyamul Layl and Taraweeh where the best Qari has come. No, these are the things which we have to discipline ourselves. And finally, my brothers and sisters, the best thing that we always keep ourselves away from is the companionship of the Quran. The companionship of the Quran. Quran is the month of, fasting is the month of Quran. Because see the hadith. Now pay attention to this word and then inshallah you understand this important point. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam has said, on the day of judgment, hadith in Sahih Bukhari, that on the day of judgment, Quran and fasting will come in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the human form and will intercede on your behalf till they make Allah agree to to let you go in the Jannah. Allahu Akbar. Fasting and Quran both will intercede till Allah agrees. Allah will say, Ya jaan chhod, ya ja, le ja. Take these two people with you and go in the Jannah. So they will be insisting on Allah to forgive them and put them in the Jannah. And this is Quran and the fasting. So we have fasted, but what we have done with the Quran? What we have done with the Quran? Quran today, my brothers and sisters, pay attention to this. Quran is the letter from Home Office who are applying for the visas. Quran is the letter from the court when you have some serious case in the court. That's the message that the postman brings you and you're scared and you can't even read properly. You'll ask somebody to help you and translate you. Quran is the message of Allah, and the postman is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He has already delivered this message to us. But unfortunately, we don't use this Quran for ourselves. Subhanallah. This month of Ramadan is the month of Quran because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said two things about the Quran in the month of Ramadan. Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran. This is the month of Ramadan where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent a postman with the letter of the court and Home Office that you are deported now. No, this is the month of Ramadan where Allah has sent you the Quran. Why? Why? Did you think? Why it is related to the Quran? Why it is related to the month of Ramadan? And why it is said that it is sent to the people in the month of Ramadan, not to the Muslims? Ask any Arab the ayah which I read to you. Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran hudan lil people of Luton. Hudan linnas. For our brother Peter, if he wants to know something about Islam, he should not look at Muslims, he should go back to the Quran and see why Quran has been revealed. This is for brother Rob. This is for you people, my brothers and sisters. Quran is revealed for the whole mankind. Hudan linnas. Allah is saying guidance for the mankind. Then Allah says, Inna anzalnahu fi Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr is also in the month of Ramadan. So this is the Quran. Now briefly I'll tell you the benefits of the Quran and then I'll finish my khutbah. And this is what you have to remember. This was the second part of our excuse me, I didn't eat anything, okay, so it's coming naturally because sometimes it comes out of hunger as well. My wife did not give me anything, any strong breakfast today, so it was only tea that I had. Alhamdulillah. You might be thinking, Sheikh must be. No, nothing like that, alhamdulillah. Okay. The first benefit, Rasulullah has said, you are the best in the sight of Allah if you are a student of the Quran and you are a teacher of the Quran. First benefit. Best in the sight of Allah as a student and best in the sight of Allah. I'm not quoting all the Arabic, but just quickly I'm helping you. The best amongst you in the sight of Allah is the one who is learning the Quran and teaching the Quran. Second thing, Rasulullah has said, the one who learns the Quran with his difficulties, Allah gives him two rewards. Two rewards. One is for reading and the second is, hardship of difficulties of reading. Another hadith of Rasulullah, point number 3, Rasulullah has said, when you read one letter of the Quran, you get 10 rewards. And he's saying, I'm not saying alif, lam, mim as one. I'm saying alif is one letter, lam is one letter, mim is one letter. And when you read alif, lam, mim, you get 30 rewards. Subhanallah. This is the hadith of Rasulullah. Fourth benefit of reading of the Quran and making Quran as your, source for your guidance. Rasulullah has said that one who has got Quran in his heart, this heart will never go to hell. The one who has got Quran in his heart, the fire will not burn this person. Fifth benefit of the Quran. Rasulullah has said the one who does not have the Quran in his heart, ka Baytil Kharib. Ask Arab, what do you mean by Baytil Kharib? It's a destroyed house. Nobody likes to live in that. Abandoned a place. This is the heart if you don't have the Quran. Another hadith of Rasulullah, when people are sitting together reading Quran and understanding the Quran and teaching each other, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends the angels to protect them. Allah sends the tranquility amongst them. Allah brings peace and mercy to them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions them in the gathering of angels and telling, look, these are my people who are learning my message. Allahu Akbar. Another benefit of the Quran, Rasulullah has said that this Quran will bring you the prosperity and give you the honor and victory, and this Quran will degrade you and dishonor you. And this is the situation we are today now. Because we don't have the Quran in our life, in our day-to-day system, that's the reason we are all humiliated. We have no peace of mind. Another benefit of Quran, Rasulullah has said when a person will go into his grave, his wealth will not go, his wife will not go, his children will not go, his husband will not go. Nothing of his life will go except the good deeds, and good deeds in the form of Quran will come in the grave. And when Munkar and Nakir will be standing, this Quran will stand in front of them, and the Quran will say to the angels that forgive him. Quran will intercede on your behalf in the grave. Another hadith of Rasulullah, the more benefit that on the day of judgment, when people will be resurrected from their graves, Quran in the form of a human being, Quran will stand and pull out the person from the grave and will say, do you know me? A person will say, come on man, I'm already in trouble now, it's a resurrection. How do I know you? How do I remember? He will say, I'm your friend Quran, and I'm here to take you to Jannah, inshallah. I'll intercede on your behalf. This is the benefit of the Quran. Rasulullah has said, even when you go to the Jannah, your position of 5-star hotel, 7-star hotel, 100-star hotel will be decided the amount that you have memorized the Quran. These are the benefits, and these are all benefits are gone if we have left the Quran behind our back. So my brothers and sisters, these are the objectives of the Ramadan and fasting. If we don't have this, and finally my brothers and sisters, use me before you lose me. I'm there with you inshallah in Luton and internationally. You can have my contacts through the emails, you can have my contacts through my phone numbers, WhatsApp, and you can discuss your every matter that has to do with the Ramadan. You can discuss with me about it. And from today, mashallah, we have uploaded the program, which from 1st of Ramadan, there will be a reminder for 3 minutes max every day in Urdu for our Urdu community at 12 p.m., means afternoon, and in English just before the iftari breaking of the fast. Every day there will be a reminder. 3 minutes reminder, 2 minutes reminder. Please watch that reminder, inshallah. Sit with your family, sit with your children, and inshallah it will be beneficial for all of you. Watch it, accept it, inshallah. Try to, apply in your life, and inshallah share it with others. That will be more beneficial for you. And as I said, that alhamdulillah, if you are with me on WhatsApp, there are so many, beneficial things I'll be forwarding to you. Unless you say, Sheikh Saab, enough is enough. Come on, don't bore me. Kya pakate rehte ho bhej ke. If you say that, then I will stop. Otherwise, inshallah, I'll keep on sending whatever the things that can benefit you and me, inshallah. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وأقيم الصلاة. Brother, أقيم إن شاء الله.